Everybody, welcome to the college virtual fair. Thank you for joining us this evening. Before we get started, I wanted to go over a few quick housekeeping announcements. You should see my screen kind of giving you an overview of the fair. Since this is a webinar, you will not be using your webcam or your microphone to ask questions. Rather, we'll be using the Q&A button. So you're welcome to type in any questions that you have throughout the presentations. This is also just one of many different sessions happening. So if you are interested in kind of learning more about other colleges, please be sure to sign up for additional sessions. And also this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website where you registered. So now, without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter. And our first presenter of the evening will be Bennington College.
Hello, everyone. My name is LaShawn Taylor. I'm an Associate Director of Admissions with Bennington College based in the Los Angeles area. And thank you for taking the time to join us today. So tell you a little bit about Bennington. So we are a small liberal arts college based in Bennington, Vermont. And sorry, there's a typo there. We do not have 70 undergraduate students. We have about 700 undergraduate students. And we have about a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So you can expect about 12 students to be in the average classroom. We have about 23% of our students that identify as domestic students of color, as well as 19% of our students are international students. And some of the things that makes Bennington unique is our approach to education. So we are a interdisciplinary style liberal arts, but also we have an open curriculum. And so with that open curriculum, we do not have designated majors for students. In fact, we call them areas of study. And that really aligns with our philosophy of education in terms of this idea that learning and creating are inseparable. And we believe that students should have full range of the curriculum to be able to explore that in a way that's meaningful to them. So because we have this open curriculum, we really try to structure it in a way that allows students to be able to take advantage and craft something that's beneficial to them through what we call the plan process. So the plan process is a 4-year program that students embark on at Bennington that really helps them year by year think about how they want to craft their education at Bennington. So year 1 is all kind of devoted for students to explore the curriculum. We only have one required class at Bennington, which is a first-year freshman forum, which really gets students familiar with the Bennington style of education and transitioning to college in general. And so with that plan process, students are guided by a faculty member as well as a faculty committee in terms of creating a plan proposal, which is really a reflective document that helps you think about how you want to spend your 4 years at Bennington. So that relationship between students and their faculty advisor is really more of a mentorship capacity for students to be able to grow and learn. And so with the plan process, you have the ability to take your areas of study, which could be 2 or 3 different disciplines, and really think about a singular focus or even a research question that you want to use to be able to explore the curriculum. And so year 2, when you're creating your plan proposal, it's really a reflective document for you to say, here's what I would like to do with my time at Bennington. Here's how I'm thinking about crafting my studies, and what impact you want that to have after your 4 years. And in year 3, students have the opportunity to revise that proposal. It can be minor revisions. Some students have taken the opportunity to make some larger revisions to change their areas of study. And the beauty of having a interdisciplinary open style curriculum is that none of that will impact you in terms of graduating on time. We believe that every class you take is beneficial towards your degree. And so shifting your plan process and your thinking does not deter you from graduating within the time that you're ready to graduate. And so with that plan process, year 4, you'll finalize your proposal and you'll create what we call an advanced work. And this advanced work is really a reflective piece that you can create that represents the state of your studies at that time. So it's a very graduate style approach because you're being mentored and you're learning how to think about your craft in a way that's unique to you and explore it in meaningful ways. In addition to the plan process, we complement that with what we call fieldwork term. So fieldwork term is our annual internship requirement for students. It can be paid, unpaid opportunities, on-campus work opportunities, independent research, research with faculty. There's a number of different ways students can fulfill their fieldwork term hours. And so that's usually designated for 6 weeks in the winter, but we also allow students to do their fieldwork term in the summer if it's more beneficial to their experience. And really, you're just anywhere in the world at that point, really honing your skills. So taking the skills you learned in the classroom and saying, what are some practical hands-on things that I can learn and experience that will really relate to my plan process? And this is a requirement for graduation. So you'll have at least 4 fieldwork term opportunities as a way for you to see what is my potential opportunities after I graduate based upon this plan that I've created for myself. And we have a really robust database where students can look for opportunities. You can use your own networks. Again, one of the great things about fieldwork term and being at a small school is that you can connect with faculty if you're interested in doing research as well. So that's something that we really like to supplement with students, getting that in-classroom experience as well as the out-of-classroom experience to be able to holistically experience what we call the Bennington education. So our admissions process. So we are part of the Common Application. We also have what's called the Dimensional Application, which is our own in-house application where students can take advantage of creating their own application. So I like to tell students, if you are someone who likes a little bit more opportunity to create, whether a portfolio style application, you can do that through the Dimensional Application. There is no fee for that. So I like to tell students, feel free to dabble if you're thinking about different ways to approach your application. We are test optional, so we've been test optional for quite some time, meaning that we will not penalize you if you do not choose to submit your scores, but we're not test blind. So if you do submit your scores and you indicate that you want us to consider them, we will do so. And we do interviews. We love to engage with students through interviews and to be able to bring context to your application. So we always enjoy the opportunity for students to take advantage of that. And so our application window, so we have 4 different opportunities for students to apply. Early decision, which is November 15th, early action, December 1st, a second round of early decision, which is January 15th, and we also have regular decision, which is January 15th. So I invite you all to reach out if you are interested in learning about Bennington, and thank you for giving me the time today.
Chris, you're muted.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Bennington. Next up for us this evening is Landmark College.
Hello, my name is Erica Loveland. I am an admissions counselor for Landmark College. Landmark is a small liberal arts college located in southern Vermont. Landmark is exclusively for students who learn differently. This includes students with learning differences, ADHD, or individuals on the autism spectrum. Landmark has a variety of associate's, bachelor's degree, summer programs, short-term programs, as well as online dual enrollment for high school students and a graduate certificate program for professionals. We are a school of about 450 students, so pretty small. We have different programs such as our transition to college program, a bridge experience, we have therapy dogs, and peers. Peers is a program for students who are interested in developing their social skills. So they practice their social skills, learn about them, how to build friendships, how to figure out how to engage in conversations. And peers, you get to work with a social coach to practice those skills. Our mascot is Finn. We are the Sharks because the Sharks are always moving forward and we have bachelor's degrees such as liberal studies, psychology, studio arts, communications and entrepreneurship and leadership, computer science, and we just added life science. And with life science, you can focus either with environmental studies or biology. So you can go in either direction. We have our associate's degrees, which include liberal studies, business studies, computer science, and life science. Our application process is a little bit different than other schools. We are on the Common App, and then we have an institutional app. We need students to send in their psych evaluation. This includes cognitive and achievement scores, as well as their official diagnosis of their learning difference. We would like a personal statement, a recommendation, of course, official high school transcripts, and if applicable, college transcripts. Our SAT, ACT scores are also optional. And then we do an interview. We do have an open house on October 10th, virtually, of course. And if anybody's interested in that, they can contact me. The supports that we offer at Landmark, we have our academic advising and coaching. Advisors guide students towards problem solving, figuring out students' best ways of decision making, their strengths and weaknesses, guiding them through their semester. Academic support includes one-on-one with a faculty or staff member. This works on writing, reading, computer science, math, science, study skills, and educational technology. We have our social pragmatic support, so early orientation for students on the spectrum. We have our peers program, which could be with students who have autism or any student who really wants to work on their social skills. And then we have social activities. Our career connections works with students when transferring, building internships, and employment. So we have many partnerships that are LD friendly, including Hasbro, and new to our partnership is Dell Computers. We have mental health is really important on campus and everywhere. So 60% of our students use our counseling services. Health and counseling is free with tuition, and you just schedule an appointment. We recommend one appointment a week per student. We have different summer programs, so a high school summer program for rising juniors and seniors, summer college readiness program, summer bridge experience, a 5-day boot camp, which is online, adventure camp, adventure academy for middle school students, a summer online dual enrollment program, and then a 10-week online program for current college students. And you can contact me if you have any questions, or you can contact our admissions office at landmark.edu. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. So next up for us is Middlebury College.
All right, well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen, am I? Hold on a second. There we go. All right, so my name's Caroline Damon, and I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Middlebury College. I'm going to share some quick facts to get us started. Middlebury is a residential liberal arts and sciences college of about 2,500 students. We're fully undergraduate, so students have close connections to faculty, and all of the resources on campus are really there for you. Students come to Middlebury from all 50 states and over 70 different countries, so it's truly a diverse student body. Exploration and discovery will definitely define your learning at Middlebury. You can choose from more than 850 classes, 49 majors and programs. More than half of those are interdisciplinary. In addition to our main Vermont campus, which is entirely undergraduate, we also have a large network of schools abroad, summer language schools, and even a graduate school in California called the Middlebury Institute for International Studies. So now I'd like to dive into some of the details of what makes the Middlebury experience so special. First, our location in Vermont's Champlain Valley offers an experience that's deeply rooted in a sense of place and community. A strong connection to the local environment is central to our identity and really allows students to take advantage of recreational, academic, and community engagement opportunities, both in and around the town of Middlebury and Vermont at large. One of the most common questions we hear about is what makes Middlebury different. And to me, I think it's that we hold two identities that might seem to be juxtaposed at first, but taken together, they are actually what makes Middlebury, Middlebury. First, we are a small college in a small state with a strong sense of community and a connection to place. And at the same time, we're a globally connected college that places a strong emphasis on cross-cultural understanding and with boundaries that exist far beyond our Vermont campus, as you can see on this map. This is demonstrated in several ways through our international curriculum, our internationally diverse student body, and extensive abroad experiences. About 60% of juniors study abroad for at least a semester, and that's often done in language immersion. All of these green flags represent the Middlebury schools abroad. We have 37 of them in 17 different countries, and you have both the academic and financial support of Middlebury in these locations. Another unique feature of the Middlebury academic experience is our environmental studies program, which is actually the oldest of its kind in the country. It's one of the most popular majors with an inherently multidisciplinary approach. Environmentalism is also a pillar of Middlebury's identity. We became carbon neutral in 2016 and recently embarked on some ambitious new sustainability goals. Our Energy 2028 plan sets a goal of using 100% renewable energy by the year 2028. Both of these initiatives were really student-driven, and I think they highlight the emphasis that Middlebury places on the student voice in shaping our priorities and our campus. Another highlight of the Middlebury student experience is our J-term, which is a favorite part of our 414 academic calendar. It's a 4-week condensed academic semester in which students are pursuing one in-depth academic experience, whether that's a class, internship, or independent study. And after J-term wraps up, we welcome our first-year students, or first-year FEB students, I should say, to campus. Middlebury has one of the oldest and largest and most well-established mid-year enrollment programs in the country. FEBs often spend their gap semester pursuing an interest, holding a job, traveling, visiting family members, and/or engaging with a service project. After they complete their 4 years, FEBs take part in a unique ski down tradition at our very own Middlebury Snow Bowl to celebrate their graduation. FEBs proudly wear the .5 at the end of their graduation year, and they join a long tradition of adventurous students who aren't afraid to do things a bit differently. So whether they graduate in the winter or spring, Middlebury graduates go on to do so many things with their education. There's tremendous support from our Center for Careers and Internships in terms of job searching, soul searching, finding funding for internships, the graduate school application process, and more. I'm gonna wrap up with some information about admissions and financial aid. Students can apply to Middlebury using both the common application and the coalition application. There are no supplemental essays required. And I do want to add that Middlebury is test optional starting this year for the next 3 years. We are also need blind in our admissions process for US citizens, permanent residents, undocumented students, and DACA students. And we meet 100% of demonstrated need for all of our admitted students for all 4 years. So I hope that you'll keep exploring Middlebury on our virtual visits page, where we have lots of video content that represents student voices and virtual tours and more. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and I look forward to taking your questions during the Q&A.
Great, thank you very much, Middlebury. So next up for us is St. Michael's College.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to grab my presentation real quick. So I hope everyone can see my screen okay. My name is Lindsay Buzan. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm presenting on St. Michael's College today. So thank you all for coming. I know we're halfway through this marathon of 6x6, but I hope you'll stay with me during my presentation. Just to kind of give you a quick overview, I want you to just kind of like think about the space that St. Mike's occupies and picture yourself like walking around our campus and what it might feel like to you as I describe different things that you can be a part of at St. Mike's. I know I only have 6 minutes, so I don't want to get too much, but hopefully the pictures will help describe sort of like the campus culture and life and who we are. So let's get to it. This is kind of a slide of who we are. So we're a Catholic liberal arts college. We were founded in 1904 by a group of priests called the Society of St. Edmund that came over from France in Vermont. And so a lot of what we do hinges on the three principles of the Society of St. Edmund. We're the only Edmundite college in the world, so a lot of people ask, well, what is that? And that means that our mission and vision for our campus community involves social justice, hospitality, and education. We are fully residential, so all students live on campus all 4 years, very tight-knit community, only 1,700 students. Our student to faculty ratio is 13:1, so professors are very personable and will get to know you as well. We're located, let me see, liberal arts I mentioned, and we are located just outside of Burlington, Vermont. So this is a map of the US to give you a picture, and zooming in New England, this like star, we're just the town north of Burlington, Vermont. So about a 10-minute car ride from the nearest airport, 3.5 hours north of Boston, 1.5 hours south of Montreal, about 6.5, 7-hour ride to New York City. This is just also a picture of where we are. So we have Lake Champlain kind of in the bottom of the picture, and then on the north is that horizon line. Burlington's very much a college town. So between us, University of Vermont, which will be presenting after me, and Champlain College, there's about 18,000 college students in the Burlington area. So about 1 in 3 people that you interact with kind of in that main Burlington area is a college student. So it's a really nice college town. The scale and the city has a lot to offer you as a college student. I just wanted to list quickly all the different majors and minors that we have. For a small school only enrolling 1,700 students, we do have a plethora of different opportunities for you to get connected with. A third of our curriculum is called exploratory. So a third of our curriculum is set up for you to kind of like navigate what your different interests are. And we leave that flexibility to our students because we realize you're multidimensional beings. You have more than one interest outside of your major that you would ultimately graduate in. So students use the third of our curriculum that we offer through exploratory to either double major or minor in one subject or another. We also have a lot of different ongoing activities. So this is kind of like a list of all of our clubs and organizations as well. And so I'm going to kind of like tease out a couple of these during my next 3 minutes to tell you more about what is happening with the campus life and community at St. Mike's. The first program I wanted to mention is our Guide to Adventure. So if you're coming from the Colorado area, some students love to get outdoors and get in the mountains, and so do a lot of students at St. Mike's as well. So every fall this magazine comes out. It's an adventure sports guide, and you can be a beginner and have never tried one of these activities, or you can be a complete expert, and we pay for your certifications to engage in one of these activities. So it could be skiing and snowboarding, rock climbing, mountain biking, ice picking. It really runs the gamut, very popular among our students. MOVE, or the mobilization of volunteer efforts, is also how St. Michael's College is known in the community. By the time students graduate, over 75% of them will have participated in some sort of community service, and that's not a requirement of our students by any means. It's just the type of student that tends to find a connection with St. Mike's. So we have opportunities to get to connect in the community. Pre-COVID, we also did domestic and international service trips as well, and hoping that in response to what's going on, hopefully those can get taken off the ground soon as well. So lots of opportunity there to connect through social justice or community service initiatives. Our students are very multidimensional. Again, they have a lot of different interests. Some are using our maker space, which is located in the student union, to prototype different masks, or helping work on prototypes for different vehicles for for folks who are physically disabled and whatnot. We also have a garden on campus, which is huge. It's part of our Center for the Environment. Students get involved in that. There's also theater, so many different ways to get connected. We also have a fire and rescue program on our campus, so students can become state certified EMTs and firefighters and answer calls in the 5 neighboring counties. Many of our students actually stayed back on campus when our campus closed, and were part of the first responding team responding to coronavirus cases in the Burlington area. 1 in 4 of our students is a student athlete. So we have 21 men's and women's varsity sports. It's a really great way to build community. Again, if you're interested in that, we hold one of the not second highest, for D2 athletics. We are repeatedly in the top 10 in the nation for academic performance. So we're really oriented in the student athlete. So again, I just wanted you to kind of like close your eyes and imagine what it might be like for you at St. Michael's College. I see Chris is back on the screen, so I don't want to take any more of your time, but thank you so much. The last thing I'll share is just my contact information if you want to shoot me an email to learn more about St. Mike's. Thank you again.
Great, thank you very much. So next up for us is the University of Vermont.
Hello, everybody. My name is Liz Hamlin-Voles, and I'm one of the Senior Assistant Directors of Admissions here at the University of Vermont. This is a great picture of our campus looking north, and we are the premier research university for the state of Vermont, and we have about 10,000 undergraduates, and you can see from the slide that about 3/4 of our population comes from outside the state of Vermont. So that's a little bit atypical for a state university to have more people from outside the state than inside the state. Part of that has to do with the population in the city and also the whole state of Vermont. We have a lot of different majors to choose from, great breadth and depth of 100 different majors to choose from within our 7 undergraduate schools and colleges. And then you can also continue on your work in your academic area, perhaps by doing one of the accelerated master's degree programs and add in another degree in your 5 years. So our faculty members at the University of Vermont, we like to call them teacher scholars. Their focus is also on their research, but they're primarily there to be the folks that are going to be teaching you day to day. And so you will engage with them in a way. Our student to faculty ratio is 16:1 and average class size is about 32. And as the land grant university for the state of Vermont, really our focus is on the education of our health and our society, so that everything that we do at the university has a purpose. There are a lot of dichotomies about the University of Vermont, our old and new, big and small, urban and open. And one of the things, we started in 1791, so you'll see a lot of older architecture, but all the buildings have been renovated, as well as brand new buildings like our STEM facility that opened 1.5 years ago. And typically you'll also find newer majors like data science and things that are sort of important within the 21st century. The campus itself is big, about 10,000 undergraduates, as I mentioned, but it won't feel too big. As you walk around on campus, you're going to recognize your friends. You're going to also see people that you're familiar with, perhaps friends of friends, and then you're going to be able to continue to meet people all throughout up until your senior year. The campus, as we mentioned, is about 5 blocks away from Church Street, which is our kind of center of town. For those of you who are from the Boulder area or who have visited, it will feel very similar to what you might have experienced on Pearl Street. And it was actually designed by the same person who did the Pearl Street Marketplace. So will be similar yet different. And then once you get outside of Burlington, you're in a beautiful landscape, which is great for recreation and just a slower pace of life. So what excites us about the University of Vermont is a whole bunch of different things. And one of the things that we help you kind of plan is your 4-year plan. And this includes both academic, co-curricular, extracurricular activities, internships, any kind of outside of the classroom learning that you might do. You might be involved in the PEP program, the pre-enhancement program, which allows students in the pre-medical field to be able to shadow physicians at the UVM Medical Center on campus. Or you might choose to do one of our 200 different clubs and organizations. So you'll be able to find camaraderie, also have activity, and also student leadership. The experience continues on, whether you do internships or undergraduate research. We have a fairly small population of graduate students on campus, which really correlates to you being able to work with those faculty and do research and perhaps become published before you graduate. The internships, again, can be paid or unpaid, and there's stipends to help you finance that opportunity. And then service learning courses really allow you as a student to take what you've been learning in the classroom and push it forward into helping perhaps a local agency or a nonprofit with solutions to a problem that they might be seeking. Our learning communities are how you live on campus, and we've noted that being part of a group of students on campus really helps you connect and create your community right away. And so we're going to ask you as a student to create a list of these and put these down as a listing of your favorite area. And the best way to think about it is, who do you want to be with? It may not be your academic area of choice, but it may be something that you like to do. Perhaps you like the outdoors, or you're someone who's interested in wellness. This would be a great way to connect with students and make UVM smaller. Now, our campus is also very much involved in the celebration of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that happens as soon as you start on campus. When your first weekend, you'll come to campus and sign the pledge for Our Common Ground, which is our value statement that you can kind of see right there on the screen. And this will be something that permeates into your actual coursework that you take. We have a couple of required courses, and you'll take at least 2 classes in diversity and then also sustainability from a long list of them. And our identity centers, our students are multifaceted and they have many identities. And these identity centers become a second home for them, as well as a place of celebration of that particular identity, making you a more well-rounded citizen. As we've mentioned, Burlington is a fabulous backdrop to have for your education. And really, it's not just the arts and the music and the college town, but also great for internships, great top 10 tech hub, and it's just, quite frankly, a lot of fun as well. All this kind of comes together as sort of an exceptional return on your investment. And what happens after your 4 years is 93% of our students are graduating and going on to employment or into graduate school. And you can kind of see that for medical school and for law school, our admit rate is much higher than the national average. And then with just kind of coming up to the end where everything begins in the admissions process. So we will encourage you to either use the common application or the coalition application. It is your choice. We're going to be doing a holistic review of your application materials, and that would include your application, your essay. We do also have an optional essay, which with some very fun questions that help us get to know you. I see Chris is on the screen. Average GPA is about a 3.7 on a 4-point scale. We are test optional, and we will be for this year, and we're considering further years. But if you plan to do that, go ahead and send in your scores. We are not test blind. We will also be reviewing your application for admissions merit scholarships and the Honors College at the same time of admission. And this is just a great picture looking west from the green of UVM over Burlington into the Adirondack Mountains. Please contact me for a video chat or by email for questions or any of our virtual programs.
Great, thank you very much. And so now we're going to move into our last presentation of this session. And that will be Vermont Tech. You need to unmute there, Savannah.
There's that better? Sorry about that. So we are the small college with big outcomes. My contact information is here. It'll be down at the bottom as well at the end. So where do you learn best? We have 2 main residential campuses. The first would be in Randolph Center, Vermont, which is right in the center of the state. That's a little bit more rural. It's our original campus. It's got more of like that classic college feel with about 4 dorms, 2 dining facilities, including our grills, the sports grill attached to our sports complex. So that campus also has a ski hill, our own rope tow, and a ski lab where you can actually build your own skis or snowboard, which is a lot of fun. Clubs are on this campus, intramurals, and this one also hosts our varsity athletics. Our Williston campus is a little bit more urban. It's up right next to Burlington, up at the top there. It's close to Lake Champlain as well. This one's a little bit more of a tight-knit campus, definitely a little smaller. We have about 50 to 75 residential students on that campus within a given year, and the rest would be commuters. There are clubs and intramural sports, of course, on this campus as well, and the distance between the two campuses is about an hour. So, you know, folks do participate in varsity sports at the Williston campus as well. They just make that drive. So we recently organized into 4 schools, the first being School of Engineering and Computing. We do offer associate's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and of course, master's degrees. We just added one in computer software engineering. We're so excited about. You'll see some certificates on here as well. Those are something to add on to your bachelor's degree. Our School of Nursing and Health Professions is probably our largest one, just in terms of how many people attend. Nursing is probably one of our most competitive programs. We also offer dental hygiene. We're the only college in the state of Vermont that I know of to offer that. Let's see. Our School of Professional Studies and Management deals with business degrees, entrepreneurship. We also have our professional pilot technology. So if you want to learn how to be a pilot, that would be right up your alley. We also have construction management and our ground transportation. We actually started we have a deep root in agriculture, I should say. So we also offer agribusiness, diversified agriculture, and veterinary technology. You can visit vtc.edu/majors to explore these a little bit more in depth. We've got course lists, job outcomes, also some interviews with a lot of students, which is really great. So Vermont Tech programs are 3 things. They're hands-on, they're personal, and they're focused. So hands-on, we really want to give you that hands-on experience, because that is what employers are looking for. They want to, like, for example, in our construction major, they want to know that you have picked up a hammer before, right? The personal education is something that's really great for us. We have a very low student to faculty ratio. It's about 1 to 15. The average class size is about 15. So you're never going to be lost in the back of the classroom. You're going to know your professor. They're going to know you. They're going to be very easy to talk to and very approachable. And when I say focused, we mean that we try to cut out the fluff. So most of your classes, at least 90% of them, will be within your major, within your major, besides like the English and the math. So if you're taking computer science, you are taking mostly computer science courses. And we were actually, here we go, sorry. Varsity athletics, this is what everyone loves. You can learn more at vtc.edu/athletic information, but we are part of the Yankee Small College Conference and the United States Collegiate Athletic Association. We have men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, cross country, track and field, and coming soon is esports, which, if you can tell by my headset, I am very excited for. Tuition and scholarships, this is of course what a lot of people want to see as well. So 85% of our students do receive financial aid. I put a little bit on the other side here, out-of-state students' tuition. Now, this can depend on what program you are in. So please visit vtc.edu/tuition for some more in-depth information about this. Let's see, we do, of course, accept military benefits and third-party scholarships. And we have special scholarships for high-achieving out-of-state students. So if you have at least a 3.0, I will, when I see your application, I will give you $6,000 per year. So that's pretty great. And we love setting you up for success. So we are first in Vermont for graduates with the highest earning. We also have a 99% placement rate and the highest return on investment in the state. So that means lower tuition, and then when you get out of college, you have a higher earning potential statistically. Our employers include local and international, national and international companies, JetBlue, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Collins Aerospace, which is now part of Raytheon, I believe, as well as Burton Snowboards, Dealer.com. Application information, we are on the Common App. We do also have our own application as well. We've got test optional for this year for most of our majors, and the caveat would be like nursing. We have rolling admissions for most of our programs. except for the ones I have listed here. Of course, you can visit vtc.edu/apply to learn more about what we would need from you. So that's my cue. Follow us on all the social media. I would say definitely scan that snap code if you can. Facebook, all right here. Visit vtc.edu/thelab to view a bunch of cool student projects that I filmed, by the way. It was a lot of fun. All right, so thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. So that concludes our webinar for this session. Just a quick few notes before we end our session. After you close this window, you will get a very quick 4-question survey that we would ask you to submit. We also would remind you again to sign up for more sessions, and that also about a week after this webinar is concluded, on the sign up page, you'll be able to access a recording of this webinar in case you'd like to review it again. So thank you very much, and we appreciate your attendance. And thank you to all of our presenters. We appreciate you coming and taking the time, and I'm sure the students do as well. Thank you.